communiMap is an app. They were looking for people's stories, people's experiences in and around Glasgow. We call them collabs. My name's Chris McCartan and I'm with the communiMap project at Glasgow Uni. I came to Govan into a kind of tough time. I spent 3 months being homeless and a number of community organisations helped me out. I walked around Elder Park and I was looking for the elder trees. I didn't realise at the time it was named in honour of Sir John Elder. Finding out these stories were important to me and we'd love to hear from other people's points of view and other people's experiences and stories. I've got maybe 1,200 photographs in my phone. communiMap has the ability to share these images and stories that are attached to them.
And so if we can create a community through that, bring more people together across the city, then this small act of taking a photo and telling your story, whether that be writing about it or audio recording it, in your own language, that becomes something so much more powerful.
My name's Marie. I've always been interested in climate change, how the planet works for people, going for lovely walks with the dog. I think it's good for your health and well-being. The Partick Bridge is connecting from Govan to Partick, people going to work, people coming on their bikes. When it was built, you didn't really think about, how it would sort of work, but obviously it's worked really good because it's connecting people. More people are walking, more people are getting fit. That allows them to do that.
There are community gardens all around Glasgow. A lot of hidden spaces in Glasgow that you just happen upon a lane and people have developed a fantastic community garden.
Composting has gathered quite a lot of interest because composting is so visible and people feel like they can quite easily make a difference with it. There might be some sort of trepidation, maybe not being too confident, maybe being a bit worried about the smells that it's going to emit, or am I going to get pests with the compost? But
that's a very healthy smell.
Looking pretty good, isn't it? It's nice to see that we've created something like that. By adding some really simple scientific testing in, which is what the app is doing, we can kind of build that confidence and we can build our intuition and kind of fall back into the safety of the app, where we're tracking that, we're monitoring it over time, and have access to a wealth of people that have that little bit more knowledge or that little bit more experience than what you have.
That's one of the really important things about the Hidden Gardens and why it was set up in the first place, like over 20 years ago, through a lot of consultation with the local community. And there are things that you can do, and people do come here and they have a look around and they see what's growing in different parts of the garden, and they might say, would that grow in my garden and whatever. So it starts a conversation.
And so there's something quite magical as the researcher on this project, but almost been a participant in it as well, not having that initial knowledge and then learning alongside you guys, and it's been quite transformational for me.
Yeah.
Compost mulch underneath it to try and acidify the soil, and as you were pointing out over there's some lovely wee blueberries which hopefully will ripen before the birds pinch them.
So we've just found a bit of the infrastructure which is part of the Rave Energy initiative that SWG3 runs.
We are in the SWG3 Yardworks garden. This is a community garden, but what's really cool is that when people are dancing on the dance floor in SWG3, they're producing body heat. That heat is vented out. It's then pumped and stored in 12 of these boreholes, and it's then reused to either heat or cool the building behind us.
It's so visionary. So you've got the energy, but then in just this one place, they've been so imaginative to create a place that thinks about the energy crisis and how to respond to that. We've also got biodiversity, the space for people to grow, so you can think about food security in that context too. There's bike racks outside, the active travel, everything that if you're trying to imagine a more sustainable future and the kind of infrastructure you'd need in a city. And that's what we're really trying to do in the app, is by mapping all photographs of these beautiful places, but also the more ugly things and the things people want to change. If lots of us do that, then the collective voice emerges, and we can use the stories in a way that allows us to create change.
We'd come into the park, we would measure the tree, and then we would see what kind of tree it was.
This is the Argyll Street ash tree, quite leggy as trees goes. They've cut the limbs of it, so there's not a lot of weight on it.
So you would go up and you would get a measuring tape, and you would go around the trunk and measure it.
I'm just going to take a wee picture of the tree.
You would feel a bit sort of damp or dry, so it feels quite dry, and then you would log in either into the community app, or you would look into the book that we have here. It's a big tree. Location, Elder Park in Glasgow.
This tree has got quite a lot of history, and I'll take a wee update of it on the communiMap app. So I get a sense of achievement and accomplishment by sharing it with others. It's a sense of connectiveness. I'm not sitting alone, or I'm not looking at my photographs alone. I'm able to share them.
My name's Frankie. I'm the lead community development worker here at Crossroads in the Gorbals. So I never expected my roles as a community development worker to actually involve climate change, but every role I've had so far has had a real climate change element to it. But there's a real disconnect with people that are a bit disenfranchised with this stuff, and especially working class communities which are at the sharp end of this and have the least resilience to market forces. They're the people that have to understand that it's affecting them more than it's affecting everybody else. This project here is a biodiversity and active travel project. Basically what we're looking to do is support biodiversity by creating wildflower meadows and bee posts which are actually impregnated by tar, and they basically attract bees to hibernate in the winter time.
So we're looking at the pontoons at the Glasgow Science Centre. You can see it's a fantastic lush biodiversity infrastructure, and I'm going to take a picture. I think that's really interesting. I'll post that on communiMap. Glasgow's a very urban city, although we've got 2 rivers on it. It's really nice to get this connectivity to nature.
These are swales, and basically they're kind of natural habitat to kind of stop surface water flooding. Basically it converges in on itself, and water can run in there and stop actual flooding within the kind of pedestrian areas and the roads.
Basically what would happen otherwise is, if you've just got the way that cities are, you've just got all these concrete slabs basically everywhere, and all that water has got nowhere to go. And these are the sorts of things that prevent that happening. But obviously these are a rarity in the city. Yeah. So what the app can do is you can start to log where it is pooling.
What the app will tell us as well is whether this is working and where this could be used as an intervention for surface water flooding going forward. Because a lot of people who live there don't understand why that's there, you know, they just think it's aesthetic.
This links into the bigger kind of system of climate change and sustainability and how we all kind of conduct our lives, because it enables us to see what difference we can make.
So it's given me tangible tools to have conversations with people, and obviously the communiMap will give people them tools to pick up themselves and give them a little bit of capacity building.
It brings you to see things that you've maybe never looked at before. Good for the mental health, good for walking, good for just taking time out away from just everyday life, really.
So we hope at the very least it brings some joy. At the very most it creates real change in the long term.
We're community scientists. We're looking for community contributors and volunteers. If you're sitting at home, we would love to inspire you to come out to go for a walk, upload a wee audio voice, or if you're lucky enough to get some of the bees buzzing or these crickets, you don't have to be online. You can get one of these communiMap maps, complete the survey and hand it back to the uni or post it back to the uni. That's the very things that we love for people to share.